Kasi pag sinabi communications, napaka-wide ng subject. Ano? Pero, kung pag-uusapan yung kung laging ba ang Pilipinas, no, the technology is already here. Most of these yung mga nandito ngayon na booth exhibitors, all of them have almost all those modern technologies out there. The only question is buying them. Has the political will to invest that much. Kaya yung sabi ko sa lecture kanina, na if you want a good services or you expect that much, you must also invest. Kailangan, kasi minsan may mentality, mura na lang bilhin natin. Mas mura yan. Minsan nga may ganun pang procedure sa bidding eh. Minsan may lalaban. Hindi apples to apples ang labanan eh. Dahil hindi talaga magkakapareho ang radyo. So, minsan, dahil mura, akala mo yun yung dapat bilhin. Pero sometimes, if you really want a very robust and very strong and very good communications product or equipment, you really have to invest in it. Dapat magkaroon tayo ng bago, ng ibang kultura na let's aim for something better. Yun ang nagiging problema minsan eh. Akala pag ganito lang, pwede na yan, mapaparaos na. Okay na yan, basta makausap mo, ayos na. No. Hindi ganon. Pag sa indultuhan na, yung talagang nandun na yung difficulty and everything, hindi yung mga radyo ibang yung inaasahan noon ay maaaring hindi nyo asahan. So, what I just, ang ibig ko lang sabihin is, the technology is here already, the companies are here already, it's just a matter of decision makers to get those high-end and advanced technologies that the latest communication devices could provide. Yun lang siguro ang kulang na lang, political will. That's why, yan nga sa amin, what I can say, in Pasig City, we're really aiming to purchase this modern technology just to ensure that we will be there in case of a major disaster. Kasi hindi mo naman pagpaplano yung simple. You plan for the major ones.
Modern technology like what? Anong equipment you use?
Okay, example na lang. Okay, one good, I will do two examples. One, what I mentioned a while ago, there's already an existing cellular portable mobile antenna. Just imagine, merong mission ng mga police o military sa isang outskirt provinces. At karaniwan dyan, baka sabihin walang load sa cellphone o may problema sa site, sa cell site, walang signal. This portable cellular antenna for a 5-kilometer radius, so malapit sa command post nila, kahit i-deploy nila within 5-kilometer radius yung kanilang militar or sino responde o kung yung bombero o doon sa may disaster, they can use practically their own cell phone. They will just connect to this cell network na kung ano man tawag nila doon sa network nila, kahit anong bansag nilang tawag doon. And they can practically talk na kung gaano katagal. Kahit walang telcos provider. Ganun din sa Metro Manila. Pag down ang telcos, nagkaroon ng lindol like Yolanda and everything, may ganun technologies na actually meron na. Ang problema lang, kailan bibilin? Iba o bibilin pa? That's one. Second, sa radio naman. Ang latest ngayon, may radyo na kasi ngayon, ang problema na iba, yung jammer and everything, interference, and yung kung saan maaabot. And there are radios right now, modern digital mobile radios, that practically you can have an internet in your radio. Practically, your radio can also, kung problema nila, kung nasan yung kanilang police or responder, the radio itself can provide their location. Yung dati nababayad tayo ng device para magkaroon ng automatic vehicle system na kung saan makikita mo nasan yung personnel mo, sa radyo na, may ganun technology na at present na sa Pilipinas na pwede ka mag-internet, pwede mo makita sa location niya. Pwede rin kayo mag-usap over the net. Pwede rin mag-interlink na, di ba, minsan ang problema, paano ko kakausapin yung police, bombero ko? So, may technology na that they can cross. Interoperability. They can contact. Kasi minsan yung mga reklamo on-site, ito yung police, kailangan ko makausap si fire chief. Problema, magkaiba kami ng frequency, magkaiba kami ng bandwidth. But there are technologies out there, dito sa Pilipinas na meron na kine-carry, na they can do those solutions na magkausap. Pwede nga, makitawag ka pa sa telepono, ipapunch sa'yo. So, those things. Meron na lahat dito yan. Nandidisplay sa inyo, meron lahat. The only question is when. When are they going to get it? Medyo mahal kasi.
Okay. Other questions? Hi, Florence from Life. Ang question ko lang po is regarding what can you say about startups that are focusing on disaster preparedness? Kasi aside from other business startups with businesses, there's also a rising number of startups na gumagawa sila ng mga emergency devices, mga disaster preparedness. What can you say or probably have you encountered them?
Okay, joining the panel is Hill Francis Arevalo of UN OCHA on Humanitarian Affairs, and he can answer the question.
Thanks for your question, which is very good. In terms of startup kasi, as in the humanitarian community, especially kasi by the way, I'm Hill from UN OCHA, United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. Basically, we're the secretariat of the UN system in terms of coordinating the response and preparedness. To answer your question, in terms of startup, those are the things na ginagawa po hindi lang ng UN, but the community of practice na nagdi-deal sa communicating with communities, which is the two-way communication. Pagdating sa preparedness, isa yan sa mga ginagawa, which is to explore and to innovate the use of technology. Because we cannot just simply rely doon sa mga high technology, but basically to combine it with the traditional way of communicating, not only within the responders, but also with the affected communities. What we're doing is really to explore and innovate. As a matter of fact, we keep on testing, pilot testing it in various emergencies. Like for instance, the use of yung crowdsourcing, di ba? Right now, we're into crowdsourcing, which is the platform for Twitter and Facebook. And also on the frontline SMS, for us to send mga early warning updates coming from the warning agencies, from the like Pag-asa or PBOX. But apart from that, we're also using the traditional way, like how can you utilize the use of SMS through radio, mga ganon. As a matter of fact, dito sa is the inclusive approach that we're doing is to invite not only, within the community of practice kasi sa humanitarian community right now, there is already the paradigm shift of just being inclusive doon sa mga humanitarian organizations. We are now in a way trying to expand it and make it more inclusive by inviting communicators, the media, the telecoms, and even yung iba pang mga private sector which has the capacity or resources to not only to make this technology accessible, but to make it in a way affordable for the affected community. So in terms of startup, we're not only supporting it, but in a way we're involved in the design, even in how to test it in various areas to make it more in a way successful. So involved kami doon. And it's a good thing kasi there's already the paradigm shift among startup players na mag-consult din sa mga actors na nai-involve both in response and in preparedness.
Yes, please. Your name, please, your media outfit, and who would you like to address your question to?
JR Bustamante, I'm a blogger. I could address it to anyone. I'm just curious because I'm looking at this in a holistic, disaster preparedness, I guess from beginning to end. I just like to know just how efficient are we in terms of dispatch from the moment the problem occurs, and then channeling to the right dispatcher. Just how smooth are we in this action? Have we rehearsed for this?
I think Sir Richie and Sir Hill would be in the best position to answer those questions here today. How quick are we able, from the point of disaster up to, from the point of disaster up to the point of actually responding?
Okay, what I can say is only for the city of Pasig. Okay, we have a command center that's 24/7. People can contact us through phone, cell phone, SMS, Facebook or Twitter account, and our mobile apps, wherein you can send your emergency information to us. So from the time it was being sent, we are targeting at least 5 minutes of response. This is just for ordinary emergencies. Okay, a major disaster is a different one. What I'm saying is the ordinary, there's a car accident, there's a fire. But for major disasters like earthquake, we haven't experienced it yet in Metro Manila. But for flooding, what happened during Typhoon Ketsana or Ondoy in Pasig City, Actually, before we receive calls of urgency, our personnel are already out there because we have, in a way, recognized the sudden rise of water. So practically most responders are already on the ground. Unfortunately, with the extent of the flooding and damage of Typhoon Katsana at that time, the number of people responding in the city was very few or not enough because of the practically 80% of the city was underwater. So that's a different issue. But that was then. So our target is 5 minutes to respond as much as possible.
And Hill over here.
In connection to what he said, I'm looking into small to medium scale emergencies, like for instance the case of Typhoon Milor, then the Typhoon Haiyan. Let us put it into context. Firstly, as in the humanitarian community, we had a very strong and solid relationship with the government. And we cannot just simply respond or provide the necessary support if the government didn't ask for any assistance. So if the government says that we need this, we need that, and in this particular area, if there's a need for us to deploy the day before the emergency, we will do that. And what we do is we mobilize the team within the humanitarian community either to do the assessment, of course, under the leadership of the government. We always work at the back of the government. So government will always take the lead. So if the government says we need your support, international assistance, coming from the humanitarian entity, which is composed of United Nations, INGOs, and other sectors, definitely we will provide that support. Either pre-deployment in terms of pre-assessment, pre-disaster assessment, or on the actual intervention, which is the case of Haiyan, we really set up a hub, a coordination hub in Tacloban, in Giwan, in Ilo, because we see that it's not only unprecedented, but we're looking at it, the magnitude of the overall disaster. So how fast? Well, really it will depend. How quick can we provide the necessary intervention? It will depend. Because we cannot compare the case of Haiyan to other countries affected. The Haiyan experience is relatively unprecedented as compared to other emergency. How fast? Well, it depends. Because even if we have the resource or capacity, it will also depend on the way we act on it, and at the same time on the mobilization of resources.
And to add up, just to visualize what happened, just imagine Typhoon Haiyan. At first, there's communication, there's media, so there was warning, ample warning given. Okay. Now, it's a question of interpreting it, that's another matter. So the usual problem comes in after it struck. If you would go back to history, to news reels and news reports, after a typhoon, a major typhoon arrives, there's a sudden, almost no information at all. That is why the affected region has problem of sending information to the national government or to any agency of what's going on in their location. And that's one cause of problem of delay. Why? Because of limited transport resources that you can send into those far-flung places, you need to have an accurate report, at least, of what they need. So when you don't have a good communications and link between those two, those where the delays comes in. So I think that gap, which is until now, should be given importance to ensure that, kasi madali yun eh, may warning, okay, no warning. But after that, doon nagkakaproblema, di ba, makita nyo sa news, please help us. 2-3 days, may makita ka para mawalang tulong na dumarating. Because the problem is communication. There is no link, direct link at least that they can send the details of what happened and what they need to the proper authorities or even sa UN or kung sino man humanitarian effort. Miski any UN group or any agency would request those information. Hindi sila makilos kung ano yung kailangan. Hindi sila pwede magpadala lang basta ng halimbawa ng baboy. Hindi na pala kailangan ng baboy doon. So those things, little things, would make things faster. Yun nga, that's why communication is very important.
Now, adding to that question, we'd like to also direct, if you don't mind, to Mr. Rudy Oyang of ITERA, our major sponsor for today. Sir, many of these people here right now are also, they might not be disaster experts, but they're able to communicate to people who need to be prepared for disaster. Now, when it comes to ITERA, what would you recommend for civilians if they need two-way communication? What would be the best type of equipment that they should have at home in the event of a disaster?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question. So because we are to a radio company, of course, since you guys you offer some from the emergency department or something, definitely what you need will be related to radio. Usually, if there is just an ordinary thing, even the disaster, of course, we have a system like we can track a location. We have GPS, we have map. Even radio can connect to the IP. If you can hear, you can talk to American, right? Ordinary. But if a disaster happened, all the communication is down, station is down. So what are we going to do? We have a portable equipment. You can bring this kind of thing like portable repeater. You can make a set locally, on-sitely there. And also we have the video equipment. The video can transfer wirelessly on the site, from site to the command center. So that means this kind of equipment can be installed quite fast if there is emergency. So this is what Hatero usually can do for the emergency situation. We have our real-time and satellite equipment for emergency. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oya. And a question for our good friends from